this is not a historically accurate, in the sense that I can't dot every I and cross every T. What time every phone call was made. This is going to have to be something of a fable, a parable, an inspiring story. And so I'm going to take liberties in order to make it an hour and 30, 40 minutes. But I don't want to violate anything that's fundamentally important or true to you.
Air will premiere on April 5th in theaters, brought to you by Amazon Studios. This film will tell the story of how Nike's fledgling basketball division and Michael Jordan's gamble and greatness revolutionized the world of sports and contemporary culture. In this video, we will dive into what the stars of the new film have to say about the development of the project, filming experiences, and finding the right tone of characters. This star-studded film is led by award-winning director and actor Ben Affleck, who plays the role of Phil Knight, founder and CEO of Nike. Affleck talks about putting together the cast and the types of people he was looking to work with.
This is a group of people who either I had known for a long, long time, an enormous amount of respect and regard for. Matt Mayer, Chris Messina, as you mentioned, and obviously Matt Damon and Jason Bateman, all of whom I've worked with multiple times and know well and adore and admire, and people who it's been my sort of life's goal to work with in Viola Davis and Chris Tucker. I think Chris can attest to the number of times I've harassed him, like he passed me by in a hotel lobby. Chris, I want to do a movie with you. But finally, I think Jordan brought him around, and or the Jordan subject matter, or just because as he's really being humble. I mean, he really came in and created this role, and I said, I need you as a collaborator, filmmaker, your voice, your experience, your perspective. This movie is a massive failure if it's just my voice and my experience and perspective, and Chris and Howard and and Viola and Marlon and everybody who brought what Jason brought. It's all those things are invaluable to telling a story. So it's actually kind of like like walking on air.
Matt Damon, who plays Sonny Vaccaro, Nike's basketball expert who was brought in to grow the basketball division, explains the importance of finding the right tone and spirit of this nostalgia story.
We were really trying to capture the spirit of these people in this time more than anything. Not exactly who said what at exactly what moment. It was really about the, and all of these people on the Nike side, independent of one another, have talked about this time with such nostalgia, and that's what we were trying to create, and remind people they were the underdog, which is such a weird way to think of Nike now. But before this kind of incredible deal, they really were, these kind of renegades, kind of outsiders, and so that was really what we were trying to get. The characters were just all kind of had this incredible infectious energy, I thought, that was really kind of jumping off the page. The script was really quite something.
Coming off filming his final season of Ozark, Emmy Award winner Jason Bateman gives his reasoning for joining the cast to play the role of Rob Strasser, Nike's vice president of marketing.
The draw was Ben, it was Matt. The subject matter, while yes, it was a big deal for people my age, 15, 16, when Jordan came into the league and the shoes and everything like that, and I'm a big sports fan, that was a big draw. But it's really the people that you work with is a big draw for us, because it's 12 hours a day. You spend more time on the set than you do at home, so that was a big pull for me.
This inspirational story about Worth and the uncompromising vision of a mother wasn't initially scripted to go in that direction. Affleck says the original idea was to tell the story through Michael Jordan's point of view.
Initially, to be honest, I was going to have it be a story about Michael himself saying, this is what I'm worth and this is what I deserve. A person saying, this is what I mean and I'm going to ask for that. And he said, and I thought also his parents weren't so much a part of the story, so I was trying to flesh that out. He said my dad had the best personality in the world. And I think with Julius, we got exactly that, the perfect person. And then he said, I didn't want to go to Portland. I would have signed my shoe rights away for life for a red Mercedes. My mom told me to go to Beaver. And when I saw how he talked about his mother and the regard and esteem in which he held her, this is a very intimidating, powerful man. I've never seen Michael Jordan. He really is like, it's sort of like being on Olympus. You're around somebody who is as close to a deity as you're going to find, and yet it was this moment where I saw an awe and a reverence and a respect and an adoration and love when he talked about his mother, and it just shocked me. And shame on me for not kind of assuming this was the case. But when I heard it, I realized right away, this is the story. and this is a beautiful story, and it's a story about Dolores Jordan and what she means to Michael, and that she's emblematic of what so many mothers must have meant to so many athletes and entertainers and people in this business who are oftentimes very young and thrust into a world of fame and money, and that can be confusing, and it just requires, and we see people take different roads all the time and who must require an enormous amount of guidance. And so I thought, like, actually, this is brilliant. This is what the story is. This is beautiful, and this is the protagonist.
And after Affleck flew down to Florida to meet with Jordan, the great number 23 had one request.
And I said, who do you, offhandedly, which is always a mistake, who do you think should play your mom? He said, it has to be Viola Davis.
Academy Award winner Viola Davis was flattered by Michael's words, but she immediately had to pivot to nailing down the character of Dolores Jordan and her personality.
It is flattering because I do go in with a sense of, do I belong, imposter syndrome. So it's nice to feel wanted. But then the next thought is, now I got to step into the role.
Yes.
And if you watch videos on, Dolores Jordan, she is a study in Zen neutrality. The woman is very, very steady and quiet. I would imagine that even when she gets mad, she's probably very, very, very steady. So to really just sort of envelop that spirit and everything was a challenge for me, because I'm the woman who always has a chip on her shoulder. I go in bombastic, So it was both flattering, challenging, and then just a joy to work with Matt and Ben and all these terrific actors. Me and Julia still talk about it to this day. One of the greatest experiences.
Howard White, who was Sonny Vaccaro's colleague and advisor, played a crucial role in Michael Jordan signing with Nike. Chris Tucker had the privilege of knowing Howard, so that connection allowed him to contact those closest to him.
I knew Howard White. So I had all access to him, talking with him for hours, and everybody he mentored, like Charles Barkley, and like people from his childhood he played hopscotch with, and teachers and coaches. And I thought it was just gonna be a quick conversation with him. He said, no, hold up, I got somebody else you want to talk. I need you to talk to them. And I really got a lot of information together to embody his spirit, his dialect, and put it all together and put it in a character. And everybody said he was like Confucius. He was just this nice guy, thought about the world, glass half full instead of half empty. So I want the character to be positive and, just be a lot of fun.
Another figure who Michael Jordan attributes to the success of this story is George Raveling. Raveling was one of Jordan's coaches in the 1984 Olympics, and Marlon Wayans was blown away by the life George led and the type of man he was.
I learned a lot about him. I learned he was a fantastic man. Like he himself was the first black coach to win a national championship.
Yeah.
And he coached on the Olympic team, and he's from Jersey, and so there was a lot that I kind of picked up. And when I read the monologue, and the fact that was real, and that he still has the "I have a dream" speech in his possession, I just thought that it was an amazing character to play. And the more you research, the better you can do in terms of your performance.
Chris Messina, who has worked with Ben Affleck on Argo and Live by Night, plays David Falk, Michael Jordan's agent. And in typical agent fashion, Messina spent most of his time on the phone yelling in anger. He talks about that unique filming experience.
I've gotten to work with him now 3 times. It's always an amazing experience. It's always surrounded by great artists in front of the camera and behind the camera. When I read it and I loved it, I was like, oh shit, these are a lot of phone calls. But Ben did something that I've never done in my career, and I've done a lot of phone calls. Usually you call the other actor, the phone disconnects, or a script supervisor does it with you, but Matt and I were down the hallway from each other. We each had 3 cameras on us, and Ben would go back and forth from room to room. We'd all get together, and we had a blast doing it. The script was amazing, but we could play, we could overlap, we could improvise, and it was I keep saying this, the hardest part of doing this job is going on to the next one. Leaving these guys behind, because the way he puts together a team of people is phenomenal, and you get very spoiled.
This film isn't just about sports, but about culture and human emotion. Matt Damon feels that the movie has something for everyone.
I really do think there's something for everybody in this one. It's not a strictly sports movie. You know, I think for the sports aficionados, they'll love the kind of behind the scenes, behind the curtain type of stuff that's in here. But it really, I think has surprised a lot of the people who weren't expecting it. It sneaks up on you because because of the role that Viola plays and how she kind of takes over the movie, and it's just I do think there would be something for everybody in this one.
Air premieres in theaters on April 5th. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we will be back very soon.